Oh, hello. How are you doing today? And hold on, let me just finish this email really quickly here. Okay, scan. And we will agree to put the brown and polka dotted tabby back in his place in Volcano Island. And send. Okay. How are you doing today? It's so good to see you. Long time no see. You're doing all right? Yeah. Having a bit of a tough time right now. Yeah, I know a lot has been going on for each and every one of us, but I am here if you want to talk about it a little bit more. Yeah? Sure, of course. No, you are not being a burden at all to me. You are not wasting my time. I am here and I want to make sure that you are feeling seen, heard, and well affirmed. So I am all ears, I am all eyes, and I am here with you. So tell me a little bit about what's been going on. Yeah, that can be quite stressful. I see. I really commend you for already doing all of that to try to mitigate the situation. That is not a very easy thing to do, and I want to let you know that I know that you are trying and you have kept going for so long, and I really think that is very brave of you to do. Yes, that's very admirable to me. Definitely. No, it's nothing insignificant at all. No, definitely not. Even when we do things that are insignificant, when we're going through a tough situation, whether it's with a circumstance or with a person or with an event that is going on, every single thing that we do, no matter how big we perceive it or how small we perceive it, everything is significant and is a major step. Definitely. So, is there anything I can do to help you out or anything? You just need some time to relax and unwind. Definitely. Well, I have a couple of things that might be potentially relaxing for you. It's no spa set, of course, but I am a huge proponent that with self-care, we can take whatever we have, whatever we need, and turn it into something that is truly fulfilling for our self-care. It can be something as conventional as going to the spa, and it could be something as unconventional as, I don't know, taking a walk in the rain or doodling on your journal. So there are many other ways that we can take care of ourselves. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. I have a couple of things here. What are some things you may be experiencing while going through this tough situation? Okay, so some trouble sleeping. Okay. Insomnia. Gotcha. And how long have you been experiencing that? A couple days now. Almost a week. Okay. What else? Any changes in appetite, change in your energy? Feeling a little lower in energy. Okay. especially throughout the morning. Gotcha. Oh, and you've tried to take some coffee and some caffeine and that hasn't helped. Okay. Yeah, coffee and caffeine can be quite a trickster. I know for me, I love having a good cup of coffee in the morning, but I know when I take a little bit too much, personally, I get that bigger crash, and then I end up even more tired than I was at the beginning. But I know for many of us, an additional cup of coffee can just do the trick and put us right back up. Yeah. Anything else? Just a little lower in mood. Okay. Headaches, more headaches. Okay. So, it looks like we will just need to go to a combination of the root causes as well as looking at the current symptoms. So I know that you've exhibited so much effort and energy into what you're going through, and in terms of finding a root cause, that can be very hard for each and every one of us. We may think, why is this happening to us? Or even though I'm doing so much to try to mitigate the situation, it still nags me, or it feels like a pin in my side or something. And I want to reassure you that all of those feelings are valid. Sometimes when we try to mitigate a situation, we want it to go away immediately, but sometimes it takes a little bit more time. And even if the conflict itself is physically gone, the psychological aspect that we feel during that conflict can still last a little bit longer for some of us. So I do want to remind you to give yourself plenty of grace and to understand that it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to seek assistance and support if needed. And as always, it's always good to check our own sense of awareness. So our energy throughout the day, our changes in our energy, and different ways that we can take good care of ourselves, whether conventional or unconventional. Yes, exactly. Alright, so I will go ahead and help you with your headaches and maybe help you with your sleep for one. Let's start off with that and see where we can go from there, okay? Okay, sounds good. Alright, so let me put this away here. I think we can start off with a pair of gloves. I'm going to go around and we can just chit-chat and feel free to rant away whatever you desire, and I'll be here to listen. Definitely. Okay. So I'll go ahead and put on these gloves and see what is going on. Now, of course, I am not a licensed medical professional. I am just a friend here to help, but I am a huge mental health advocate and a proponent of self-care, whether it is by ourselves or with others or in a group setting. Yes, absolutely. So when it comes to self-care, I like to personally include it in this theory I learned about called Bronfenbrenner's ecological model. Actually, it's not necessarily a theory, but a model. And what it shows is that within each individual, we have our current set of knowledge, our own set of skills, and our current sense of self-efficacy whenever we are going through a conflict or dealing with a problem that we need to resolve. And those are the intrinsic factors of a person. Now, in terms of the person's extrinsic factors, that can depend on several things. It can depend on the environment we grew up in. It can depend on the family we have grown up in, or our chosen family. It could depend on the social support from our friends, our peers, our co-workers, other professionals, and more. But anyway, we've got the individual, and then as we move further out, we can take a look at the individual's immediate environment. So, does a person feel physically and psychologically safe in their immediate environment? What kind of social support is the person receiving from their immediate community, whether in person or online? As we move further out to another layer of the ecological model, we may take a bigger look at the wider environment, culture, and society. So, how does our society emphasize and prioritize the importance of mental health and self-care, giving ourselves well-deserved breaks? Because, as I like to say, you can never pour a liquid out of an empty cup. That cup needs to be full on its own before it can pour into another one. And just like with us, we can't take care of others or continue to handle a situation if we don't have enough energy within ourselves. So how this can be mitigated? We may need to take some time out for ourselves or we can ask others for help and for assistance. The key here is to make sure that we are seeking assistance from those we can trust. So that way it feels like a mutually respectful, collaborative relationship. And when we're working with people we trust, then that prohibits any unnecessary stress or redundant senses of anxiety for the main person. Yeah, it's quite a whirlwind of layers from the inside of a person and then going outward and outward and outward. And sometimes we just need that time for ourselves to take a pause and to slow things down. And just to give ourselves that sense of self-awareness. How am I feeling right now? How am I feeling 24 hours later? And when it comes to conflict mitigation, there are several different kinds of levels, not in terms of just the situation itself, but how it affects us with our sense of psychological safety and, in some cases, our sense of physical safety, only in extreme cases. Yes. So, with each of these, it's always good to pay good attention to how we're feeling and what ways we are taking good care of ourselves. Yes. Just gentle breathing. Feel free to ramble away. I'm here. I'm listening. Yeah, it can be quite a lot, and we can really feel those physical sensations when we feel like something hasn't been resolved. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes it's even more important just to feel seen, heard, and understood compared to finding out what the resolution or the solution of a problem is. I think many times we've been taught traditionally to, when we're approached by someone who has a conflict or they seem to open up about something they're struggling with, we may tend to listen to respond and just listen to make a solution or offer some advice. And while that is very well intentioned and in our best interest, that may not always be in the other person's best interest. In many cases, the person may want some advice, for sure. But more importantly, what needs to be prioritized if someone is approaching us with a conflict, sometimes they just want a listening ear, a person's undivided attention, a person's presence, their active presence, their active listening. Yes, that's right. And even if advice isn't concluded, the person who came with the conflict may at least feel a little bit more at peace that someone is at least listening to them. That person doesn't feel as alone. The person doesn't feel as isolated. I know in many cases we can feel a little lonely, even if surrounded by 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people. It doesn't mean the person does not feel lonely. Loneliness can be quite an interesting thing. You could be surrounded by so many people and still feel isolated because you may feel not a single person in that room gets you, at least according to our perception. And then yet at the same time, we can be physically by ourselves and not even feel that lonely. We feel present and content within ourselves. Maybe we're surrounded by nature, like the birds, or maybe we're cuddling with a pet, or we're cuddling with a good book, or sipping some warm tea. We're eating a lovely meal, which I'll probably have a little later because my stomach just growled. But there's so many more dimensions to it. Anyway, I'm rambling again. feel free to talk some more. I'm listening. Sometimes I get a little carried away. You like the gloves? Okay, I'll remain with them then. By the way, other ways we can perform self-care can just include just us chatting and hanging out. Don't even have to do anything special or significant. Just being in another person's presence where you can feel sealed away from the world together just for a little while, even 5 minutes, and just giving each other that undivided attention. That can be quite significant. By the way, what are some of your favorite ways of taking care of yourself? It can be physical, it could be psychological, it could be social. Taking a nap, yep, I'm right there with you. There's nothing like a good afternoon nap after a long day. That's what I like about the weekends. Going out in nature too, yeah. I know that we're already past the first day of spring, but it looks like the flower buds are starting to come up now, so that's quite exciting. Cuddling with your pets? Yes, yeah. Sometimes our pets can be the best listeners. And what's so special about them, they approach things without any judgment. They're just fully there, accept you wholeheartedly with the utmost happiness and care and sweetness. It's amazing how different kinds of pets can be so responsive. We've got our dogs, we've got our cats, we've got our hamsters, ferrets, turtles, crabs, snails, fish, snakes, lizards, horses. There's so many kinds of pets. They can all be so beautiful in their own way. That's right. I do wonder sometimes what it would be like if I could just read the mind of an animal. Or maybe I should remain ambivalent or ignorant of that. I don't know. Okay, how are you feeling? A little better, that's good. I want to show you one more thing that you might find quite calming. It's called the Calm Bottle, and what I like about it is that it's got these beautiful little sparkles, and it almost feels like the ocean in a bottle, and they can come in so many colors. But I often shake this bottle if I just need a quick little break from work. So all you need to do is just turn this bottle over and give it a few shakes and enjoy the little shell. Would you like to take a look? Yeah? Okay. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Look at that. It's quite mesmerizing, isn't it? And it's got one little silver bead inside. I think it just creates a little bit of a relaxation effect. And you can see at the end here, there's several little stars. See them trickling down. It's quite magical. It almost reminds me of Peter Pan. So sparkly and so relaxing. It's like going on a magical journey on its own. I just adore those little stars. Almost like it could go and fly or swim. I guess it's also making me hungry somehow. next video.